This is TechCrunch. Parts of San Rafael, a city just north of San Francisco, are sinking about a half inch per year. Now, that might not sound like much, but altogether, it has meant that some neighborhoods, like the Canal District that borders the bay, have sunk 3 feet, placing them at greater risk of flooding from sea level rise. San Rafael is not alone. Cities around the world are threatened by rising sea levels, with 300 million people at risk of routine flooding by 2050. The cost of building seawalls to hold the waters back could top $400 billion in the U.S. alone. A new startup is proposing an alternative: raise the city instead. Terranova is building robots that will inject a slurry of wood waste into the ground, slowly lifting the land to eliminate historical subsidence and, hopefully, prevent those parts of the city from flooding. Lawrence Allen, co-founder and CEO of Terranova, told TechCrunch the Canal District is really far under sea level. The city has been working with flood consultants to find a solution. The answer every time has been like $500 million to $900 million of seawalls, which, if you're from San Rafael, you know they're not even close to being able to afford that. There's about 60,000 people, and a significant portion, surprisingly for a city in Marin County, are living in poverty. Terranova says it can protect San Rafael and other cities like it for a fraction of that cost. In San Rafael's case, the startup has quoted $92 million to lift 240 acres 4 feet. TechCrunch has exclusively learned that the company recently raised $7 million in a seed round, led by Congruent Ventures and Outlander, with participation from Go Ahead Ventures, Gotham's, and Ponderosa. The oversubscribed round values the company at a little over $25 million. Lifting land by injecting stuff underground is not new. Terranova's pitch is that it has developed some novel approaches that make it cheaper, though. First is the material. Waste wood is inexpensive and easy to obtain. The startup mixes it with other materials that it would not disclose to turn it into a slurry. The result is pumped from a 20-foot shipping container to the second cost-saving item, a robotic injection device. The tracked robotic units autonomously rove around the worksite, drilling wells through which the wood slurry is delivered to depths of around 40 to 60 feet. So long as the slurry remains wet underground, the wood shouldn't decay, and the company can sell carbon credits to offset costs. Now, all of this is managed by software that Terranova has developed. The company uses public geographic information coupled with data from cores drilled throughout the state of California, mostly taken during the construction of water wells. Now, with that, it has created a model of the subsurface that informs injection patterns, which are determined by a genetic algorithm. On the back end, city planners, contractors, and other stakeholders can use a SimCity-like tool to sculpt the virtual landscape. When plans are finalized, they guide the robotic injectors, telling them both where to inject and how much. Human operators remain on-site as a safety precaution. Allen said that once the robots are done injecting, it takes about 2 hours for the slurry to consolidate. He said Terranova has been testing both the robots and the software at a pilot site for well over a year, though some experts have questioned whether the consolidated wood slurry will exacerbate earthquake shocks. Allen said the most frequently mentioned alternatives have risks too. He said, "We think it'll help with earthquakes versus dikes and seawalls." The company plans to make money by splitting revenue for projects with contractors. It's hoping the costs are low enough that the process will be attractive for a range of land-lifting projects beyond cities, including remediating wetlands that are disappearing either due to subsidence or sea level rise. But given the urgency of rising waters, cities are Terranova's first priority. Allen said, "I'm from San Rafael, born and raised. I really want to save the city." As reported by Bloomberg, Chris Sacca's venture firm Lowercarbon Capital is raising a second fund to back nuclear fusion energy hopefuls. The VC said at the SOSV Climate Tech Summit on Thursday. Now, the firm has backed leading fusion startup Commonwealth Fusion Systems, as well as others like Pacific Fusion. It raised a $250 million fusion-geared fund in 2022. Fusion believers, who include a number of well-known climate VCs beyond Sacca, like Vinod Khosla, still hold faith that a breakthrough needed to make it commercially viable is just around the corner, and several advances are showing promise of delivering one. In the meantime, building fusion reactors is expensive. Commonwealth raised $863 million earlier this year after raising a $1.8 billion Series B 4 years ago. TechCrunch has documented a dozen fusion startups that have raised over $100 million. Now, Sacca did not say how big this second fund will be, but a source told Bloomberg that it is intended to be bigger than the first. That's it from TechCrunch. For more stories like these, go to techcrunch.com/startups.